I was hesitant to make this video because this group of people is heavily protected, but I will try to make this video as logical and clean as possible because health is everything in this life, and without your health, you literally have nothing and are nothing. Health is more important than time, money, happiness, and almost everything else because your body needs to be healthy to work well and do what it needs to do to stay alive. That said, there is a group of people of the opposite sex who, how can I put this, don't care or prioritize health in any way, shape, or form, and based on how the agenda is being pushed, they won't get into shape anytime soon, no pun intended. By now, you should know that I'm talking about the fat women of the world who believe in their hearts that they will be able to eat whatever they want. Gentlemen, having a big heart is healthy and normal. Listen and listen well. You won't get anything good out of being too big in the long run. Many people let themselves get to sizes that are hard to imagine, which puts their lives at risk every time they eat at McDonald's or Burger King. People think that this life is a joke and that their actions don't have any consequences. But when most people, both men and women, are elephants, we have to accept that society is over. I'm sorry guys, but there's no longer any hope for society when most people are sick and will die in a zombie apocalypse. Let's be honest, most people wouldn't be able to run faster than a zombie because they are unfit and big. It's a fact, and that should tell you that we're not even close to being a healthy society. Even though they act like they're happy with their weight, it's sad that these women don't like what they see in the mirror. Believe me, that's not true. Many people cry themselves to sleep at night, especially if they don't have a man. But I can't feel sorry for them because they deliberately put themselves in that situation whenever they choose to eat fast food instead of preparing a healthy meal. These people chose to watch themselves get bigger and bigger month after month without attempting to eat less or engage in any form of exercise, and that's the outcome. People, especially women, don't realize this when they try to please them. Instead of working hard to change themselves, they try to make everyone else change. So you see them talking the same crazy nonsense and supporting the agendas that the New World Order and big businesses are pushing. Again, you can't blame these women when men praise them for getting fatter and fatter. So I want to tell you about the bad things that can happen when you're too big to show you that it's a lot worse than you might think. If you're a man and you're bigger than a moose, you should think long and hard about whether you want to stay that way or start taking steps to make sure you live longer and have a better quality of life. We're going to talk about an article from Harvard that talks about what happens when you're too big and how it hurts your life and society as a whole. Let's get started. Apart from tobacco, obesity may be the greatest threat to U.S. health worldwide. 2. Obesity's health effects are deep and vast, and they affect communities, nations, and Americans today and in the future. As tobacco use declines and obesity rates rise, obesity now causes more deaths than tobacco among adults under 70. Obesity causes or is linked to a variety of health problems, including heart disease, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, low HDL, asthma, OSA, gallstones, renal calculi, infertility, 11 cancers, including leukemia, breast, colon cancers. Obesity's social and emotional effects, including discrimination, are real. There is less happiness in life and a higher chance of getting depressed. Okay, guys, didn't I tell you that it affects society as a whole, not just individuals? The more people who are overweight, the weaker our society gets, and the less likely we are to think for ourselves. You'll find that most big women are rich, successful, mentally strong, and healthy, but they can also think for themselves. Instead, we have lemmings and sheep running around here who accept everything that society and people who aren't healthy tell them to do. I would even say that people's mental health is linked to their weight. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a direct link between being overweight and having mental health problems. The fact that we can't speak out against people who are eating themselves to death should tell you where we're headed, and it's the end of society as we know it. According to the research, too much bait is the second biggest reason why people delete ads every year. Corporate movements in society push the idea that it should grow even if people's lives are at risk. It's as if they're promoting eating oneself to an early grave. Research shows that people lose their lives as they get bigger, and body positivity won't change that. Onward, it's a huge societal and economic problem. Productivity and defense are at risk. In 2005, it was thought that obesity in the U.S. cost $190 billion in healthcare costs, which was twice what was thought before. This number is expected to rise in the coming decades. This includes obesity-related medical care and prescriptions. Obesity has other consequences. Two of them include the cost of work days that were missed. There is a link between health problems caused by obesity and higher insurance costs for employers and lower wages and incomes. Countries that have obesity rates that are lower than those in the United States spend a smaller percentage of their total healthcare budget on obesity-related issues, but the burden is still a significant one. One of the most surprising effects of the obesity epidemic in the United States is that it is making it harder to get people to join the military. According to the data that is currently available, almost one-third of all young people in the United States are now too old to serve in the armed forces. I didn't even know that it had an effect on the military, but it makes sense considering that you have to be physically fit to serve in the military. If the problem continues to get worse, then who will defend the United States? People aren't going to start losing weight anytime soon, so that's not going to happen. When you think about it, you will get fewer motivated people willing to work hard and long hours because they can't control their weight or have the energy to do so. This will have a negative effect. I give you my word that society will not recover from this, and in another 50 years, I forecast that 80% of the people in the United States will be considered plus-sized. You learned it first right here, so let's get this over with. When all of these factors are considered, it is abundantly clear that obesity is a global crisis that already affects everyone in some way or another. This should be a wake-up call because there is good news among the bad news. Obesity can be stopped. We can reverse the trends that led to the current epidemic by making changes in public policies and practices so that healthy food and activity choices are easy choices for all individuals. It is fixable, but people don't want to put in the work and be uncomfortable. All I could advise those who have watched this far in a video is to avoid becoming a land whale, and if you already are one, to take steps to control your health. Unless you're willing to temporarily sacrifice your health to launch your business or raise money, start eating healthily, and at the very least, go for daily walks. There are none to offer. If you have the time and are not working on a task that requires all of your focus or a job that requires a lot of your time, you could take your dog for a walk or cook some chicken and rice. You can't eat poorly and exercise and expect to lose weight. You must first improve your diet before beginning an exercise program and creating a lifestyle that revolves around it. You can eat junk food once in a while, but it shouldn't be a regular thing. Don't make things harder than they need to be. I've gone up and down in weight when I needed to, so I know it's easy to lose weight, but you have to be disciplined and really want to lose weight. Then, when you reach your goal weight, you'll have to work hard to keep it off. I haven't gotten that part down yet, so I have nothing to say and will stop having sexual relations with older women. If you don't like them, you have no reason not to tell them. If you don't have to work and have the time, it seems hypocritical to sleep with a plus-size woman and then talk badly about her behind her back. What does it say about you as a man that you pursued her and wanted to do bad things to her, but then you disrespected her? That's not cool, and I can't respect men who do that. If you sleep with a woman, you can't disrespect her. End of discussion. To support us like this video, please subscribe, and make sure to send this video to the person who needs to hear it the most.